I didn't get to myself. Henry, my brother, thank you so much for your leadership. Thank you so much for being a brother, for being a business partner, for being, a strength, and for keeping up the entire team intact, even during the worst days. I know your story very well. I don't think there's anyone on this call right now who know what you've been through, and I've seen you, coming out of a serious adversity, and to become today among the top 5 income earners in our team expansion worldwide. And I truly have, so much respect for you. I'm grateful to have had you as my upline and mentor in the very beginning of my career, because I don't believe that I would have made it this far if it wasn't for your guidance and leadership. I mean, you were sitting on the very same, I'm sitting on the very same chair that I was actually sitting on when you came to my house a couple of years ago. I remember that it was just 2015. That's about 5 years ago, when I knew nothing about what we call personal development. I put you in this other chair next to me, and you open up your laptop. You were not selfish. You shared all the information that you could possibly bring to my table, that helped me to become everything that I am today. So I have so much respect for you. Everyone on this call, guys, salute everything that I've come across in my life and overcome just because of his guidance. I've always been looking up to him. Even when I became an IMD and he was just a marketing director, I still kept my ego in check, not to think I know better than him. It was just my moment, but I knew he is the great leader who actually made me to be what I am. So me becoming IMD before him didn't change anything. I still communicate with him. Actually, I still ask more from him when I was making more money than him. And he was, he was as humble as he's always been to, to pour everything. So guys, we are so blessed to have Henry in our team as a leader. So for those who don't know me, Thami is my name, and I come from a small mining mining city, or should I say a town. It's a mining town. It's called Rustenburg in South Africa. I know we have people coming from multiple countries or different countries on this call. And my background, I used to work in the mines for more than 14 years. I was only dreaming about the great life, but I was actually living in a hole. I couldn't see my hand if I didn't have to put my lamp on. So there's the kind of life that I was living. But prior to that, I actually want to say something. I shared something on Facebook last night, but I just wanted to, to share it with you guys. If you check on your group right now, I just posted a picture of myself when I was in matric. So life has never been so easy for me growing up. It's always been a struggle. But I've always maintained the fact that it doesn't matter where I come from. It doesn't matter what I couldn't get when I was still young. I will make it for myself, and I will definitely make it for my family. And I will never ever give in, because I've made my why to be the biggest thing. I've always been maintained that I was not born to be average. I was put on earth to make a difference. And every time of my life, when I look back, I have to see some few changes. And right now, I posted a picture that I took about 20 years ago when I was doing matric. I matriculated in 2012, in the year 2000. And during that time, I was actually renting a single room in a shack. You can see the picture there. That's basically exactly what I was 20 years ago from today. And next to it is a picture that I took about a month or so ago. And this shows you, this should be a good example that no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, you can become anything if you put your mind to it and just become a student of life. Life will teach you everything. All you have to do is to have your paper ready and be able to take notes from people who have already gone through the journey that you want to pursue, and take notes and apply. It doesn't matter. Thank you so much, Mr. Moyo, for sharing this. So this is me. On the one side, you can see just behind me is actually this is actually my kitchen. That was my kitchen. It looks funny, man. 20 years ago, this is how life looked like. And I've always believed that I can do better. I've always believed that I can be a better person. I've always believed that I can save my family. I've always believed that I deserve more. And I maintained, I told myself I will never ever surrender to life. I will make the best out of life while I'm still alive. So for anyone who's on this call, look at this picture and imagine yourself 20 years from today, 10 years from today. How can you possibly, turn things around for yourself? I lived in this room for 3 years. But then I left, my sister, whom I believe should be on this call right now, stayed in the same room for another 2 or 3 years. And while I was here, it was always a dream for me to change the situation. And that I never forgotten. So every time when I started my company now, Henry told you about adversity when I started. Now, adversity started to challenge me during these years, but it didn't stop there. It went all the way. I went as far as to matriculate and attempted to go into university, which I couldn't even stay for 2 years. It only took me 1.5 years in university, and we couldn't afford the fees. I couldn't afford to stay in the campus. I couldn't afford to stay in the city. I had to come back home and go look for a job. And the only other job I could find, because I live in Rustenburg where everybody's talking about mine. My dad worked in the mine, my brother worked in the mine, and guess what happened with me? I also got a job in the mine. And my first salary today is about $1.8. My first salary when I got my job in 2002, 2003, in the beginning of 2003, I got a job in the mine and I was getting paid $100 a month. That's 1,800 rands a month. This is my first job ever that I ever got to appreciate. And this was 1.8 that I had to actually, I've always been a breadwinner, and I had to use that money to cover up everything my family had to, the only person who had an income in my household was my grandmother, who then even passed away about a few months after getting my job. So I got a job in Jan, and in about 4 or 5 months, my grandmother passed away. So she left me with every other responsibility that need to be taken care of in the house. So I got to see Well Ventures about 7 years ago through a cousin of mine. And so my cousin, funny enough, my cousin used to be a colleague to Mr. Moyo. And Henry shared information with my cousin, Cindy. Cindy, from most of you, I believe also she's on the call. And Cindy invited me to Johannesburg to see the same information. And without understanding, without knowing what's happening, I had already driven 3 hours. So I couldn't go back home and go think about, because I've already spent much time on driving. So I got started immediately. And that was the last time, actually, I got started immediately without understanding. I was late for a presentation, but I just saw travel and money. I said, I'm all in. I didn't have the money. I just went on to my, my phone and I transferred money. FNB can actually allow you to use money you don't have. So I used money I didn't have at the time to enroll. And it was just the beginning of my journey with Well Ventures. It took me 2.5 years of showing people every now and then. I mean, I remember there was a time when one of my all-time runner, my all-time, I call this an accountability partner, Mr. H. Posture, where we actually went for at least 6 months, non-stop, every day, showing people 2 at least a day, and we had 0 sign-up. So this has actually allowed me to grow a thick skin. So I think my situations when I was still in school actually paved a way for me to grow a thick skin at a very young age. So when I got to face rejection after rejection after rejection after rejection for many, many months, I was still keeping on going. The only thing that I had in my mind was I would never allow somebody else's no to determine my future. I knew the more they told me, no matter how many no's you get, at one stage, you won't even able to be hearing what a no means. To me and Hector, we didn't hear a no anymore. all we could see was next one, next one. We went from one person to the next person, to the next person, to the next person. Ultimately, a few people started to say yes, including, I see there's one of my brothers here. Actually, he's my third person to join my team, Ali Ramashara. So basically, I joined World Ventures on the 25th of November 2012. Ali Ramashara joined World Ventures on the 25th of November 2015. That's exactly 2 years after I joined. Sorry, it's about 2 years. I know for sure he joined 2 years after I enrolled. But I mean, there's about 2 years, and I only have had him as my third personal. So it took me 2.5 years to actually get my 4. So if you're on the call today and things are not looking the way, or things are going the way you want them, or you wish, or you expected them to go, just understand you will still make it anyway. Just stay there and do what's necessary to be done. So it took me 2.5 years to get to the top. I mean, to get to 4 customers. I stopped paying monthly fees after 2.5 years. So for 2.5 years, I was just paying a monthly fee every other month. And it took me further 3 months to hit senior rep. So we found a bit of traction afterwards, and I got to become a senior rep in about 3 months. And from then, it took me about a year to become a director, and another year to become a marketing director. Now, this is what happened. During the period of trying to get this understanding and trying my best to get people in, I was just committed to one thing. I was only committed to one thing and one thing only, on learning as much as I can possibly do. I was reading all the books that Moya gave me. I was listening to all the audios he gave me. I was watching the videos, all the videos that he gave me. I was attending every training that the company put out there. Now, understand one thing. Ronaldo spent more hours training than the time he spent in a field playing soccer. Most people don't understand. For you to become successful, you need this first. You need the attitude. You need the brains. You need the knowledge. You need the courage. Everything that you can mention. Going out there doing business is cool, but to invest in knowledge is most important. I mean, that's why we say success is 80% psychological and 20% mechanical. So most people flip things around. Right now, I can tell you some of the people on the call right now haven't booked any training yet. We have United training coming up in the next few weeks. I think it's about a week or 2 or 3 or so ago. To come. We have a few people on this call and in our teams who have already devoted to actually purchase a ticket. Let me tell you something. When I went on my first ever United in the United States of America, it was in 2015. I only had a team of 12 people. Only 12 people, my entire team, the whole team, 12 people, and I was still paying, I was still paying monthly fees. I stopped paying monthly fees when I came back from United. Now, United cost me flights to United States and back. It cost me a dream trip that I had to take for 7 days because I wanted to also create a story that this opportunity works. It cost me a ticket for the event, which is about was about $300, and today United ticket, I think just $400 actually, $400 or $300 there to buy a ticket for United. Today, a ticket for United, a VIP ticket will cost you $75. So $75 is not even one night stay in a hotel. I was out of the country for 12 or so days. Now, we maintained the courage to continue with the business because the belief started to grow as we go on these trainings. The belief started to grow when we started to engage with other leaders. Some people who eventually were in the companies, listen to their stories and plugging into other leaders across the globe, and it changed the way we thought about this. We all thought when we joined, it was going to be just a 2-minute success. And guess what? We got surprised. But I got to marketing director, and 2018, I think, 2018, something magical happened. The accumulation of all the years of learning and plugging into every other training the company has, helped me to grow from marketing director to IMD in just 1 year. So in April, on this day, 2018, April director, on a Christmas day, the same year, 2018, I was a international marketing director. And on the other position, we managed to hit national marketing director a month later. Now, where am I going with this? You can never say things are not going well for you. What is happening right now is just a test. It's just to keep you in check. It's just to make sure, it's just to check with your faith. You know what we say? Faith is action taken in the absence of evidence. Right now, things are going sour, but it depends on how you see them. In my life, I've seen so many times when I thought things were not going my way, but actually it was a preparation for greater things coming. They say you can only connect the dots when you look backward. I'm telling you, where we are right now, we are at the best position ever as a company. Then I can tell you, most people will only realize a year, 2 or 3 later that actually 2020 was the blessing to all of us. Because this year, most people are going to break records. You already have seen, I mean, we're popping ranks every day. The company is popping ranks every day. And if you are here not getting the results, chances are your belief level is not on par. Now, there are 2 things that you need to get good at in this period. Only 2 things that you need to get good at. Number 1, Jean-Pierre Boysen spoke about the number 1 thing that you need to get good at during this period. It's called inviting. Why? Because there's already a presentation running 24/7. Every after hour, you can send someone to watch an information. So what you need to do, or what you need to get good at, is to invite as many people as possible to the information. That's the number 1 skill you need to do, you need to acquire. The second skill that you need to be good at is called closing. It's to collect, closing is just to collect a yes or no. That's all you do. But that also starts with an invite. So when you invite, and by explaining over the phone what the business is all about, you are not actually inviting. You are also, you are telling the person on the other side that they have to be good just like you. So when you invite, you need to be very careful. You are actually closing. It's a first step of closing. So when you invite, and on your invite, you explain everything, you are telling the person you are inviting that they also have to know everything when they become members. Now, keep it as simple as possible. Now, after the presentation, you now have to come to the next level, which is called closing. Now, closing, guys, like I said, it started with how you invite. Now, if you did it the right way, all you do is to call the person whom you invited and collect a yes or a no. But now, understand, all you have to do is to learn to keep quiet after asking a closing question. For instance, most people have the problem of, trying to re-explain or resell or, talking too much after presentation. Your job is to ask them a question. Average person will only be able to shut up for 2 seconds. An average salesperson can only shut up for 2 seconds. An average person takes about 8 seconds to make a decision. So after the presentation, your job is to get back to yourself, to the person that you introduced this to, and say, hey, awesome, what do you like best? The travel, or you want to take both the travel and the business? And from there, all you do is keep quiet, look them in the eye. I believe this time around you'll be on a FaceTime, you'll be either using a WhatsApp call or another webinar in the form of a Zoom. You just look at them in the eye and smile. You wait. Whoever speaks first loses. Now, that's the skill you need to know. The skill you need to know, or you need to have, is to look someone in their eyes with a smile. Just nod your head and smile. Whoever speaks first will lose. Now, it's just to collect the decision. Your job is just to collect the decision. Now, most people start to present again immediately after the presentation. No, this is a good deal. I know people have been traveling around the world and blah, 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 blah. All these things are not necessary because you're now taking them out Because once they hear you talk too much, they start to believe they have to know too much. Now, you can never close everyone. That's what we must know. You can never close everyone. The closing ratio is always at the low. If you show 10 people, you are likely to close 1 or 2 or 3. So if people don't sign up, there's nothing wrong with you. You can never you can never close everyone. But when somebody says yes, even if it takes 1 year, it took me 1 year, 8 months for my first ever person to sign up, Hector Botuku. But that built a lot of confidence in me. One person signing up will build a confidence. Understand this. You need to just do the right things, follow the right rules, and you will see one person signed up, build the confidence, and then you keep on doing the same thing over and over and over and over. Now, the fundamentals that you need to also understand is when you do all this closing, be enthusiastic about what you do. Have fun doing it. Look happy and excited while sharing your closing. So if you're doing closing and you look like you are tired yourself, I always tell people when you do closing, make sure you are on your feet. Make sure you are walking around. Don't ever try to close anyone chilling out in your bed. I know right now people are locked down in their homes. The worst thing you can do right now is to be in your bed and try to close a sale. It will never go out the way it should be. People must feel it in their ears. They must feel you. They must feel that this person is so excited and he's about to take this to a whole new level. Because people buy on emotions. Now, people buy on emotions, and you are also, one of the best advice that I can give you also is not to be emotionally attached to the results. So whatever that comes out to the person that you're introducing this to, you must not be emotionally attached. Most people have a huge amount of scarcity. They join, they only share this to 4 or 5 people, and guess what? They expect to sign up 5 out of 5 and become IMDs, RMD, NMD, MD. That's what people are. They create a very small list with high expectation. That never happened. It doesn't matter who says yes or who says no. Don't look and sound like you are needy. People can sense that. People can sense if you sound needy. And once they hear you, when they hear or feel like you are in need, they will never sign up. Now remember, only a person who has power to your success is you. You have the power in your hands to take yourself to a whole new level. No one else has. And no, if you have a no, this person doesn't have anything to do with your success. I personally shared this with all of my friends and none of them signed up. I shared this with my family, none of them signed up until of recent, a couple of them just came on board with me. Now, it's because they could see that this guy is here to take his business to a new level with or without us. Now, you must have a high level of desire. You must have your own reasons that are not attached to, don't attach emotions to the no or to the yes. Attach emotions to your success. Be a person who says, I will never, ever, ever look back. I will never quit until I succeed. Now, you're going to share this with a lot of people until someone say yes. It's a given fact. Now, the biggest secret in network marketing is when you stop being afraid of the no's, people start to say yes. It's amazing. We started off this business doing this presentation every day. We got a lot of no's every day. I remember the time when I came home, it was about just before, the day before the payday, I had about 17 forms filled. 17 filled forms. I've been collecting data every day, showing people presentation, and they all promised to sign up. And I put them put their information on an app form. And the day that I had to sign up every one of them is the day I realized I'm in this for a long time. None of the 17 forms went through. It almost crushed me. When we were actually driving to work on that morning, me and Hector, we were super excited, pumped up because we have 17 people joining our team. I remember calling my upline, and say, hey, Togozo, listen, watch what's about to happen. We're about to put 17 people today. And we were excited, but he said to us, no, gentlemen, I hear you, but please call me when 17 people are on the system, not when they're still on the phone. And something happened today. We called every other person. They were either busy, they were either in office, in a meeting, they were in town buying, shopping, and all this thing. We got zero out of 17. That almost crashed us. And but through this, through the coaching, through the mentorship, online mentorship, reading books and listening to other audios, we understand that we will still be successful anyway. And the only reason we can give everyone the reason to doubt us is if we quit. If we quit, then everyone that said no to us will have a leg to stand on and say, now we told you. So one of the reasons that the reason why we never got to be moved was the fact that we didn't want anyone to come at us and say, we told you, what were you trying to do? So when you stop being afraid of the no's, then you can now start getting the yes. So over time, after getting all these no's, we got better. We started to minimize our mistakes. We started to minimize some of the errors that we were doing. And then we started to have a belief. A couple of people started to sign up. And guys, one thing important, you really need to fall in love with what you do. You start to fall in love with what you do. We couldn't get the results. We started getting a few results. And we started to tell ourselves that we started to fall in love with the process of getting no's. We started to fall in love with the process of closing. So we hated closing. Actually, we were scared. I think part of the reason why we couldn't get anyone signing up with us, we were presenting, but we were not actually closing. We did the whole presentation at the end and say, so what do you think? What do you think? The worst thing you can say after a presentation to ask someone what they think, because now they activate a logic mode. And people make decisions on emotions, not on logic. But when you ask them what they think, they start to be logical. Now they start to tell you all the things that may never work. We got wrapped up with getting us to believe that we are good closers. And some of you may know Hector's stage name is called H posture. Now, how we got to H posture is we started to realize that one of the reasons why we couldn't sign up people is we didn't have posture. We didn't have enough enthusiasm. We didn't have enough belief in what we do, and we couldn't show that enthusiasm when we do the presentation at the very end, actually. So we started to really walk the talk. We started to walk like we already have $1 million rings. We started to talk like, or close like we're already millionaires. We started to close like we are already IMDs, and people started to see IMDs in us, started to see directors in us, and that's when we started to become even more excited. Now, be excited and enthusiastic, because most people are just right now, most people are in fear right now. Now, when you are enthusiastic and you are excited right now, and you call someone who's wondering about what am I going to do now, because now we are on lockdown for another 3 weeks. I don't know what to do, but they feel you on the phone, sounding very enthusiastic and excited. Tell you what, they will start to really jump up, and you actually, that energy, you actually, you transfer that positive energy from you to them. It's unlike when you make that closing phone call sounding like you are already depressed. So make sure that when you make the closing call, you sound very excited and enthusiastic, because that energy, you don't know, it will transfer from this same device. You will see they will start to believe that they also can become, they can actually change something. So make sure that you do that, and you will see the results we're going to keep up. Hence, I'm saying to you, never ever try to close anyone when you are seated, when you are on a couch, or when you are inside your bed or something. Just rather be on your feet, walk around, walk like you already have you are already a top income earner in World Ventures. Now, another thing you must also try to do is, in your mind, when you make that call, assume the sale. Assume the sale is simply assume this person, before you even start talking to them, assume they already are going to become a member. Not only that, assume that they are going to become your top income they're going to become your top producers. Because if you call someone and you already have a thinking, this person may not be the one, tell you what, that, that energy is also transferred. Now, when you call and you just say, hey, Henry, you know what? I know very well knowing you very well, this is a type of vibe that me and you can connect and run with. Are you ready to get started? Now, the one sentence you all must have, on repeat, like any day, any second, are you ready to get started? There's the closing sentence. Are you ready to get started? There will be questions. People normally when they see a presentation, they ask themselves 3 questions. They ask themselves, does this work? Can I do it? Can I do this? Or will they help me? 3 questions. Now, if you can answer these 3 questions during your closing, you are done. So does it work? We already have stories, people all over the world. That is why you need to have someone to do a 3-way call. Now, if you call someone like Henry and say, Henry, listen, I have someone watching a video right now and I want you to close for me immediately when they're done, and you put them on a 3-way call, you edify Henry, definitely Henry's story will affirm the fact that this works. And they ask them, the second question is, can I do this myself? This person is already asking, okay, can I do this myself? Now they can see that you only invited, you call someone to do a validation, and the system itself shows that even a person who doesn't know much can do this. So you just make it so simple. But if you make a phone call and start to even, keep on saying a lot of things over the phone, they start to wonder if they sign up today, will they be able to do it as you are doing? So keep it short. After the presentation, no more resale. Don't sell. When you try to sell them in, you're actually selling them out. So just collect a decision, yes or no. And the other thing is, will they help me? Now, when you do your closing, you must also indicate that we have a simple system in place. We have leaders who are out there to teach, mentor, and coach us. So that is why it's so important to make a 3-way validation call, because that's where they see, oh, okay, so Thami called me, he asked me, he showed me the information, he calls me and puts someone on the other side to do the closing. I can do this. So your job is not to present. Your job here is just to collect a decision. A presenter has done their work. Even if they miss some information, do not come and try to add. Don't add, don't take anything away. Just collect the decision and keep quiet for at least 8 seconds. In 8 seconds, all you do is smile, look them in the eye, and nod your head. Trust me, this works wonders. The number one reason people are joining is because the number one reason most people don't join is because they are never asked. Some of us will present and we leave it open. Are you ready to get started? It's the most important thing you are going to be. You get used to, are you ready to get started? Right now, everyone is looking for something to do, because by look of things, we could be facing another 3 weeks after another 3 weeks after another 3 weeks. This is causing a lot of anxiety amongst most people in this country. Even in other countries, I know there's been lockdown put in place or something like that. So if you're not in South Africa, but you're in a different country, I know for sure there could be a similar situation that we're experiencing in here. But so, are you ready to get started? Is what you need. Remember something. You have a deck of cards. Now, every deck of cards has got 4 aces. Your job is to ask, are you ready to get started? You flip a card, you flip a card, you flip a card. In a deck of cards, you will always have 4 aces. Most people only bring 5 cards or 10 cards, and they expect 5 aces to come out. Or 4 aces to come out. Now, if you treat this like a deck of cards, your job is to get as many no's as possible to get you closer to your next ace. Now, who's an ace? An ace is someone who will take your business and build over 1,000 people or 1,000 or more people. And That's all you need. You need to get as many no's as possible to get you to the next years. And not every year will be an ace. Understand, some years will come in today. Some people join today, the next day they call you, they talk about monthly fees. I hear this all day, every day. These are not the people that we are looking for. We're looking for people who will get in, stay, get educated, and build this to a whole new level. Now, deck of cards, remember this, a deck of cards always has 4 aces, but sometimes your aces might be sitting at the bottom. Your moment could be just there. If you quit before you get to the ace, you have now done a simple job for somebody else. Someone's gonna join today and flip the cards 5 times and get to your ace. You are just 2 feet close to your next best life. You just have to stay there, be persistent, and ask the right questions. We have a system that is currently making it easier for all of us. You don't have to present the whole day. All you have to do is to invite people to see the information, and when they're done, you connect them to a leader who will do a 3-way closing, and then that's it. Your job is to create a simple system, to create a simple environment that will make everyone believe they can do this on their own. Now, if we were doing this on a one-on-one or belly-to-belly, we could use handshakes. I could tell you or teach you more about how to close using handshakes and everything. But for now, for this purpose, I won't go that far with those kind of strategies because they won't work. I'm just following. I was just thinking about what I can share with you that can work for now. Because for now, we can do a group meetings where you can actually go into an event and close multitude of people. What I know for now is we need just to know how to close online. And I want all of us here to zone in and see what else. So if there's any question about what I just said, if anyone has maybe some kind of difficulty on trying to, especially on the closing or maybe on whatever that they're going through in the business, or maybe you may have had some questions long before you saw or had an opportunity to be with me on a platform like this, you are welcome. I can open Mr. Moyo, we can now open this up for questions. If there's any question on the group, please let me know.
Thank you so much, my brother, for such a powerful and empowering story. And let me just shoot straight into the question that at least people have posted here. It says, how do you follow up with someone who said they will sign up and do not do it? How often do I follow up with them and still not feel needy or greedy?
All right, thank you for the question. Great question, because in the beginning, one of the most mistakes we made was to have 5 people who promised to sign up, and we go back to them over and over and over and over and over, as if they're the only thing that can. Now, when you do, it's always important anyway. It's always important to go back to the person who said, I'm going to sign up on this day. But for me, these days, all I can do is put them on a WhatsApp. What do you call this? Forgot the name. Whenever there's a success story in a company, broadcast list. Thank you so much. Yes, put them on a broadcast list. Whenever there's something new, some new story, success story, anything that can be good, you send them a message. You put them on. There's always going to be a lot of people who are saying we're going to come on board on this day, and they never fulfill that. Do not keep on coming back to them over and over. I do it twice. Many times I'll do it twice. From there, I put in a broadcast list, and I will always be sending you messages. Whenever there's a new success story, you can see. Now, if it's someone who was very, very keen to become a member, when they see some successful story or success stories coming out, they know they could have been probably being a part of the success, and they will now start to reach out to you and enroll.
Right. And this one says, what did you do differently after that 2.5 years with no signups, and then things started working for you? What is it that you did differently? And also to just add up, there's also a question to say, hey, what were the errors that you were doing when you guys were getting no's? What is it that you were doing wrong, and what exactly did you started changing as well? So I think it ties up together these two questions.
Okay, to tell you the honest truth, in the very beginning of our journey, we didn't have a system that we're having right now. So I think you are the person who would know this better. The only thing that you guys gave me was a DVD. It was so the only thing that the Henry gave you was a DVD, and so you play a DVD. I think it was about 70 minutes. And how long was the DVD? Hello, my name is Ntokozwan Debele. Remember that DVD?
Yes, that's what we had.
So there was no WhatsApp. There was nothing. There was no PowerPoint. So all we had was a DVD with a video of, you could choose between a couple of presenters. We had one of our upline mentors, Mr. Ntokozwan Debele. Actually, he's upline to all of us on this call, I believe. And after the presentation, you have to start to make up a lot of stuff that will make someone to join. So we didn't have enough knowledge about the product. We hadn't traveled. We hadn't attended any trainings. We only had a DVD. And now, if you know now, most of the time, most people don't pay attention, or most people don't pay much of attention on the video. So they don't get much information from the video. So after the video, in my market, I don't know other markets, but most people that I personally engage with on a daily basis, they don't actually get the video. They will also want you to explain more after the video. So me and Hector will stay there, and we start to try to make up something. He will say this, I add. So basically, the presentation was just awkward. It didn't have simple. It was not a simple presentation to follow, because I will say this, who say that. Sometimes we disagree on certain things. So it was just a mess. But what we did right is we get good at learning from all of our uplines, be it online, be it on attending seminars. I mean, I can tell you, this will be the first time since 2015 that I'm not attending United. 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. For 5 years, I was in the US every year. I started going to United when I only had a team of 12 or so. And I'm still going to be at United, but not physically, online, which I believe all of you now can qualify. Now, basically, this is not even about whether you can or not. You have to be at United this year, because you didn't have to pay for flights, accommodation, all that. So what we did right, in simple terms, we made sure we read everything, we listened to every audio, we emulated our leaders. There's a video you go on YouTube. There's a gentleman called Jay Peso. He's an IMD in the US, from Brooklyn, New York. We had his series of videos. We started to walk like him, talk like him, behave like him. We walked in. So our level of excitement started to improve. Our level of enthusiasm. So we actually worked on ourselves more than the business. Most times people think they have to work in the business to change their results. No, you have to work on yourself, because you are the business. You're not a businessman. You are the businessman. So you're not a businessman. You are the business. So the more you work on yourself, the more you get better yourself, the more people start to see the business differently. I hope I answered the question, Mr. Moyo.
Oh, right. I hope, I hope the person also got it right. And right, how do you overcome objections? I don't know many people. I don't have the money. How do you overcome such? Maybe you can even cover on more objections as well that many people have. How do you overcome objections? And right now, people are giving the story to say, hey, we'll talk after the lockdown, or we'll talk after this. How do we overcome this objection?
Okay, so overcoming objections is actually when you hear an objection, you must think of it this way. It's a way of someone saying, I need you, give me more, like give me a good reason why I should make a decision. I mean, we have too many objections. We have money objections. I mean, right now we are in a lockdown, and some people always say, "No, I will do this after the lockdown." Right now, simply put, the reason why you have to do this now is because of the lockdown. The reason why you have to do this now, the reason why I called you now, look, I would never have maybe called you, but the reason why I'm calling you now is because we have a lockdown. Now, during a lockdown, we still have to eat. Now, there's two ways about it. We have a membership of silver, which is just about $25. It's $25 that you can multiply, or you can still take the same $25 and try to preserve it and lose it on food anyway. And once you lose the $25 on food, you still need to continue beyond the beyond the lockdown period. So let's say they extend the lockdown and you use that the $25. How are you going now to continue living beyond the period that, we just saw yesterday the extension of for 2 weeks. If you only had planned, or you only had a budget for until the 16th of April, and now you have to live beyond the 16th to the end of the month. How now are you going to maintain or keep up with the expenses beyond the 16th? Now, I'm giving you this opportunity because you can turn the $25 or this 550 rands, or I don't know which other currencies people. I see there's a lot of people from Nigeria, but use the lockdown as a reason for people to join. Look, I truly understand you. The reason why I called you now, and I wanted to share this with you now, is to become productive, for us to become productive and build a recession proof during this period. We need this now more than before. And I don't have money. It's either, look, some people genuinely don't have money, right? But for 550 rands, I'm telling you, it's either, there's two things when I look at this. You either show them where they can cut off. $25, women, let me talk about women. Women spend $25 to own their hairs and nails every month, right? Now, if you can sacrifice your hair and your nails for this year, or for this 2 months, or this month, that could possibly, give you a chance or an opportunity to build a business that can change your life, just like this guy. Now, guys, you have me on social media. You have other leaders on social media. See, this guy, does he look like he had money? Now, look at what 550 rands, or look at what $25 has done for him. He actually now started off from zero, and look at where his life. So give example of leaders who had nothing. That's why you must always know all the stories from people who have succeeded in our company. Use my story. If somebody says I don't have money, say Thami didn't have money to get started. He comes from poor, and look at him. He used to be this guy living in a shed, and now look at his lifestyle has changed. You can go on his Instagram, check all his trips all over the world. Look at the car he's driving. Today we drive a Porsche, we drive a Benz, we travel all over the world, been on over 100 vacations. For those who don't know me, don't know this, I've been on more than 100 vacations. Just this past December, we went to Dubai and Egypt to celebrate Christmas and New Year. Now, we post these things not to brag, but to give you guys stories to leverage from. So once you have my story like this, you can pull up my Facebook and say, hey, you know this guy, he is actually one of the leaders in Africa, and he started off from nothing. Look at his life now. Do you think you can do it? Do you think if you invest $550 and get his mentorship and teachings and everything that he had to do to get to where he is, we can win? There's nothing, we get nothing to lose here. It's either we don't do nothing and become nothing, or you put in something and become something.
Brilliant. So this other question says, you know what keeps you humble with all the success you have?
Right.
Are you still on? I think we have just lost Thami there. Let's just give him a few seconds to connect. If you guys have got any, I can just allow a few more questions for him whilst he tries to come back and reconnect. I don't know what's happening with these lockdowns. A lot of things are becoming unstable right now. Uh, and right, there's some few questions that are coming up. So if you feel, I'm gonna give you some of you guys an opportunity to. I'm gonna give you some guys some of the opportunity to ask some of your questions. If you still have got any questions, guys, keep your questions coming in. Right, let me see if I can do this. Get hold of him on a call, and let's see how. I'm not sure what happened to him. Can you guys hear me as well? Are you guys able to hear me? Or
yes, boss.
okay, no, that's cool. So guys, I'll just wait for Thami to come up.
Yes, I can hear you.
You can hear me. Okay, brilliant. So whilst I wait for him to sort out his connection, it's unfortunate we just lost him now, and I just want to find out anybody who feels, hey, this was a big takeaway for you, and I just want you to raise up your hand if you really want to say something that really hit your heart, to say, you know what, this story resonates with me, and maybe you're on the brink of doing something, and but what he has just said to you has really empowered you to say, you know what, this is just a business, this is normal, let's just keep on going and keep on moving. Anybody who wants to share, I can see some people posting here. Right, I think Konya, you said this also happened to you when you had your. You want to share your experience? Konya, you said losing up 17 people. How did that make you feel? Okay, Thami is coming back online now. I'm just adding him back. I don't know how he dropped off. Right, let's see if he's gonna come on quickly. Teboko, you want to share your story quickly? Just unmute yourself and go for it.
Yeah, I actually forgot to unmute. Okay, so it was my 1-year anniversary on the 30th of March. So I got my points and I'll be ready to take a dream trip very soon when this is all over. It's been very difficult for me to sign up people. I do show up to attend. I've attended most trainings, actually. I think there was only one that I didn't attend. The last one that I didn't attend in Joburg, but all the others I've attended. I've been to Cape Town, I've been to Pretoria multiple times. So, and I was starting to, have doubts in myself that maybe I'm not doing enough, maybe I'm not enough. But being on this now, it shows me that I'm not the only one who has been struggling. A lot of people have struggled, and with the persistence and focus, I'll be able to do it. So thank you, Thami, for your story. It really resonates with me. I kind of like, I'm in the same boat where you were, but I know that eventually I'll come out of this victorious. Thank you so much.
All right, let me see if Thami is back online. And so look, you must look at it to say, is your no bigger than your dream? And if your no is bigger than your dream, yes, it's gonna really affect you, and it's gonna really you need to put a price to say, hey, how much is this worth? Thami, I see you're back online. Are you able to unmute yourself? Or Let me see if I can get him as well. You see, these new changes in on Zoom is they are good and bad at the same time. Right. Let's get him there. Right. Thami, let's give him a few seconds. Oh, his audio has disappeared. Let's see if he can get connected back as well. His audio has just disappeared. Right. Anybody else wants to share? So, guys, you must understand. Sometimes as well, you get no's. You might be also going in the wrong market yourself, because many people, what we do is we recruit down. We don't go up. So right now, if let's say if you are broke and you go down to people who are lower than you, they are likely also not to have the money. So they are in a worse situation than you are. So sometimes you need to go and recruit up. My business, I started that actually in a completely different way. I started having a on a success path. The first people I showed, they were all signing up. Everybody I was showing, they were all signing up, and I had a very, very fast growth rate in the business. Right. Jay Smart, I don't know who's Jay Smart. You've got your hand up. You've got a question, just go for it.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm Jay Smart from Nigeria, but based in Benin Republic. I got to know about this initiative, say, early this week, if I'm not mistaken, by Sehunoe. I would personally want to appreciate her on this platform. Sehunoe, I don't know if she's listening. I think she's Ngozi on the group. Ngozi Owe, Ngozi Ka Owe. I want to personally appreciate her. Why I'm saying this is because most of the things so far, for the few days we've been together, most of the things she has put me through on how to convince my clients and the rest have actually been things I've been utilizing on my own in my personal business. Aside from the dream trips, it's been helping me also in my personal business. So I just want to personally appreciate her on this platform, and that's why I'm calling in. So thanks to Sehunoe and thanks to everyone on this platform. Thanks to Moyo for this opportunity to always keep learning on a daily basis. I'm not getting discouraged anytime soon, and I'm very sure I'll definitely get to that point very soon.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. I mean, the whole idea is to get everybody aligned and to get people as well in the right place. Let me just give Thami a call quickly. Okay, Thami, if you're back, unmute yourself, my brother. Let me just see if you can unmute yourself. So guys, you understand that at least there are challenges that you go through, and any challenges that you go through, it doesn't mean that there's a reason, like what Thami said as well, for you to go through these challenges. Thami, you can go ahead, my brother. Once you're back online, if you can hear me, you can just go through and wrap it up as well. I was just trying to keep this session going.
All right, thank you so much, everybody, guys. I'm sorry about the cutoff. We had a signal problem in the house, and that was just another hiccup. But yeah, I was actually, I think I had a question from someone, but I'm not sure if I still have to continue.
Yeah, well,
what keeps me humble is knowing that this is actually our business, guys. It's a character building business, right? So it builds your character first. So if you don't check if you are not on check with your ego, you are actually going backwards. So you need to always be in check, because sometimes success can get to a head. I've seen a lot of people come into the game, have quick results, and behave as if they're going to stay there forever. Now, one thing you must all know is a business is always going to give you, today you're going to be on the high, and the next time, the next person. You can never be on the high forever. Never. You can never be. This is why when you see on on our groups. The people who were not winning the previous time are winning now, and those who were winning before, they are not as popping new ranks as they used to. So it's always a cycle. Now, when you are having a good business season and you become arrogant, this is your downfall, because when you are now on your low, no one is going to help you get back on. So when you remain humble, you give people a reason to help you out even during the trying times. We are all going to go through that. We are all going to go through all the seasons. No one is going to have winter forever. No one is going to have summer forever or whatever. We are going to rotate in these seasons. No matter what we're having right now, it's going to go away and be replaced by something else. Just be humble enough to understand that when you are at your lowest low, you need people who are on their low now to pick you up. So when you have the high returns, stay humble, because this is not a permanent, it's not a permanency. There's no permanent results here. You're either going to go down or up at any given point in time. So being humble helps you to go through the process of every season. If you are humble during summer, you'll be humble during winter. Is what it is. So I think I answered the question. The reason why you have to become, it's very important, guys. If anything, if you are winning more than your team members or maybe your uplines, be as humble as ever. And maintain the same respect. Treat them as your upline. I'm not sure. Look, I may have done certain things that are not pleasant to Henry, but he can tell you throughout my process of hitting the top rank and all this, I've never wanted to make him feel like now I'm an IMD and he's not. Because I knew one day he's going to rise up. He can actually rise up to become quadruple IMD before me. And what will now happen? Should I now, if I messed up during the time when I was on my utmost best, it means now I don't have anyone to look up to. But if I maintain the relationship in a nice way, he can also help me to get to the quadruple IMD if he gets there first.
Right. Thanks, my brother. So I'll just touch on this one as well, so that I want to push through some questions here so that you can go through them as well. How do you, what do you do when you've asked, when you've closed the person and they ask for their credit card and they back down? Or maybe many people turn us down immediately when we ask them to provide credit card details for registration. How do you go about that?
Thank you so much. So basically, if I close my family member or my friend and they're not able to give me their credit card, it says more about their relationship with me. If I ask my sister for a credit card and she asks me a lot of questions, it says more about how she thinks of me more than anything else. I believe the people that we invite are people who are known to you, right? So by any chance, if they don't have, if they use that credit, they can't give you a card as an excuse, you can also send them a link, right? Send them a link, www.dreamtip.com, join now, and give them step by step on how to register themselves. So it's very simple. If they cannot give them their card, you can lead them to their website. Over and above that, you can ask them one question. If you cannot give your banking details now, why will we put your money when you win big? Because we're gonna once you become successful, we're gonna have to pay you. So if you cannot give us your banking information, how are we going to pay you when you start making money?
Excellent. This is, let me push this one or two last questions, then at least we close it up. How do you lead a team that can't even afford data to do business online during this lockdown?
It's how bad you want this. It's absolutely about how bad you want this. Most people, all they need is to send a link, right? And call a leader. And I think we had a call a days ago, Henry,
Yeah.
where we said, if by any chance you do not have time, you can call me to call you and the person you want to contact with, and I will spend my money to close for you. I think I made myself available. A WhatsApp data. I'm not sure about this, guys. I'm not on WhatsApp data. But I know there's a special case for WhatsApp. So sending someone a voice note to get to see the information, call on WhatsApp and send them a link and call your upline who will call you back and close for you doesn't require much from anyone. Hence, I'm saying it's about the level of desire. It's either you really want to win big or you want to find excuse not to win big. This one, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a team members who don't see or who see a problem on data to build their business, then you need to get 5 more people.
Go and get 5 more new people. That's the best way to
You need to get 5 more.
Okay. No, excellent. No, thanks, my brother. Let me check for the last question here. This one says, how do you fall in love with your nose? How did you get to fall in love with nose? It's really, really killing me. Each time I get a no, it affects my feelings big time.
Thank you so much. It's a question of how often do you get it. You see, when you get a no once in a week, it will always affect you. But if you get a no every day of your life, it becomes meaningless. It becomes nothing. This goes to everything you do in life. I know there are people, the guys, and I'm not promoting violence or anything, but there are people who were initially abused to a point where when they go in any relationship without abuse, it becomes it's not a normal relationship. They want to be in a relationship there's always abuse because that's where they think they feel more love. So if a guy doesn't beat you, it means they don't love you enough. It's because, but in the beginning, it was painful to be abused. But because somebody did it over and over and over and over and over and over again, it became a norm, and now you enjoy it now. And somebody come here and don't do the same thing, you feel like they don't love you enough. Now we don't know, it's the simple thing. The more you get a no and over and over and over, you don't even hear a no anymore. You are actually going to be surprised the day you are going to get a yes. What did you say? Yes? Because you are used to a no. So make no a way of life. You will start to become immune. The number one way of getting to make a know your friend is to make sure that you do everything in your power to show as many people as possible. Now, the more you show a lot of people, the more you get the no's. The more you try to avoid showing a lot of people, you are going to get a few no's, but you are not going to be immune. You're not going to grow a thick skin. So you grow a thick skin by showing a lot and getting a lot of no's. So in the next future, you won't be hearing a no. Before they say a no, you are on to a next one. Before this one says no, you go to a next one. Before this one says no, you go to a next one. So you become immune. And even when somebody says yes, you kind of like, what did you say? Did you say yes? Because you are used to a no and it doesn't bother you anymore. So show more people.
Okay, brilliant. I know at least, let me give you also to say maybe your last, if anybody has got anything that they feel they want you to cover, I've got a few minutes that I can just allow you, but Thami, thank you so much, my brother. And if you can just give maybe your last parting words for people right now, because people really need to know what to do exactly. What is it that they must focus on right now? What are the actions they need to do in this particular environment right now? And what are the key things that what should Henry spend his day doing, like a day like this, just being at home, doing nothing, or being on the phone, making calls, presentations? What exactly do you want, especially when people sign up new people, what must they do immediately, or getting somebody started right?
Guys, thank you so much. To last question, what here's a deal. What's happening right now is actually a blessing in disguise. No, it sounds so wrong for anyone to say this, but it's actually a blessing in disguise. That number one, we are given a chance to spend more time with our families. Number two, we have everyone waiting waiting and wanting to know what to do next. Because most people's faith is going down. Most people are looking for what next to be done. Most people right now are agitated. Most people are wondering if this lockdowns keep on being extended over and over, what's going to happen next? The beautiful thing about the now time is we have what can be a solution to everyone and anyone through during these trying times. We have everything that one needs to actually, we have hope. This is actually for me to have a business like this and having people waiting and wanting to hear about it. And I have a privilege to be in my house the whole day and just share as many people as possible. It's such a blessing. There's no traffic. There's no one going for a gym. There's no one going to pick up a child. There's no one going to be in a meeting with a director, with a pastor. It's a Good Friday today, and guess what? We can still blow it up on a Good Friday like this. So, guys, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. It never happened in our lifetime that we can have such, 3 weeks nonstop of just, zoning in, doing what needs to be done to share this information with everyone we have on our contact list, everyone we have on our social media platforms. Everyone is looking for something. We have something. The platform is available. Now think about this. This could have happened before the Zoom era. This could have happened before the webinar jam era. But it was just a blessing that we had these platforms first. We had these platforms first, and then we had the pandemic happening afterwards. So we are in a very, to me, this is a blessing. I hope you guys can see it through. Most people are going to become, are going to break every record we ever had. I see people getting to marketing, we had a lady from Mauritius who had a director rank in a few days. We have people from everywhere who are hitting ranks like this in a very short space of time. It's a sign that if all of us on this call can put our head down and dig into our contact and make sure that everyone we know, all our team members are taking part in this, we are going to break records. We are going to come out of this situation victorious. People are going to look at us and say, how come these ones are not, are not affected by this situation? People are waiting for your cause, guys. Give them hope. Let's change the world. World Ventures is the future. We are on a legacy run. We've never been in a better time than we are now today. We've had a lot of adversities, but I think this one was more of a blessing than adversity. Just depend on how you see it. So thank you so much, guys. I'm looking forward to. Now, the only thing that I would love for you guys to do is keep your leaders busy. Keep their phones abuzz with messages and phone calls for three-way closing. Make sure that your leader's phone is always vibrating on a closing or anything like that. But let's make it the best 3 weeks. The coming 3 weeks. Let's make it the best ever in our team. Thank you, guys, and have a blessed day. I don't know what I should say about today, but it's a Good Friday. I hope you guys will spend, you make the best of it. If you can do your own. I think there's a lot of churches right now who are streaming online. Go to church, do your rituals. It's understandable, but guys, the next few weeks are gonna be a record-breaking week. So well done, Henry, on initiating this platform. I hope you guys have learned a few from my story and my teachings, and I'm looking forward to see you guys also changing lives all over the world and believing that you can also make. Just understand one thing: the main reason why you have to win big in life is to inspire more people to believe in themselves that they can win big. One of the things that motivates me more than anything is the fact that when I win, I give someone who don't believe in themselves a belief that they can also do it. So if you lose and you know you can win, you are actually stealing someone else's dream, because you winning can inspire someone to believe in themselves more than they do right now. Thank you, Henry, for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, my brother, because you and I, we can talk for hours and for hours, and this is what we do sometimes, guys, and take advantage of what Thami has just said, using your leaders for third-party validations. And there's certain times when we get on a call together and people call us and somebody now gets to validation from the two of us or from other leaders as well. And we've been doing this, and it's something that at least we want to do as well, where we can now have a Zoom call testimonial. So we're going to try to run one of these testimonials so that leaders, we need to just get together, and we're going to start some of these Zoom testimonials where leaders will just get onto a call. We give the Zoom call for everybody to get their team members to connect to that call, so that at least we can give testimonials, share our stories. I'll give you guys more details about that as well. Later on today, we're going to have a Zoom call for all the team members. We need to get people aligned, but a lot of people are becoming a bit confused about what's happening, what to do, what to happen. So as leaders, now we need to we're going to set up a call today around 3 p.m. So that we can get our team members. You need to get all your team members on this call. There will be some leaders coming up onto that call as well to get some of the people aligned. If I manage to get, it will depend on some of the availability of the people that at least we might get, so that at least you can jump onto this call, so the time can actually shift and change. If I'm to get some of the leaders who are outside our time zones, or we might just get leaders who are within the same time zone, or we might just host it ourselves. So just expect some details to come out later as well for this particular call. And Thami, thank you so much, my brother. Truly appreciate you. I've been getting some messages here, some people whom we have actually touched. We have been almost going through what you've gone through, and it has really motivated them to realize, hey, a no is nothing. What's a no when you're now in IMD getting just the 3,000 housing bonus, not talking about other income, but just the 3,000 US dollar housing bonus plus the car bonus, 4,000. So you're getting actually 4,400 US dollars in bonuses. So a no is really nothing when you compare it to what you go through to actually reach that level. Thank you so much.